Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Casey Jones with dirt bike. I believe the dirt bike is from a deleted scene from the movie. When he was in the park and first encountered Raphael, I think he had a dirt bike in the background, or maybe drove in a deleted scene. This is a Walmart exclusive, and that's where I got this from. I believe the dirt bike is identical to the one that came with the Terminator 2 John Connor, but we'll check that out in this video. In the meantime, let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie logo. Nickelodeon, Casey Jones with dirt bike, 4 turtles. Here he's in the package. We have alternate gloves, alternate heads, ton of hands, hockey stick, baseball bats, and of course, the dirt bike. One side of the package, Casey Jones. Other side, pretty much the same thing. At the back, here he is on the bike. Of course, got the dump truck in the background. A few different display options with Casey. And at the bottom, there is the barcode. So with no further ado, let's open it up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. We have quite a bit of cool stuff. A total of 8 alternate hands, totaling 10 interchangeable hands. His hockey mask, 2 baseball bats, a hockey stick, but most importantly, his dirt bike. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, played by Elias Koteas. This is the version that comes with the dirt bike, which wasn't in the actual film. It was either in a deleted scene or maybe it was in the background, I believe, at the part where he was at the park stopping the muggers. It is simply a repurposed John Connor bike, which is kind of amusing, I guess. I imagine there's some people that are probably going to get the set that only have the 2-pack version of John Connor without the bike and are going to get this just for the John Connor figure. I've seen tons of these at Walmart in the past month or so, so let's take a closer look. Casey Jones here. He's got that hockey mask. Kind of scary. Reminds you of Jason Voorhees. Now mine has some scuff marks on the forehead. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or if mine just got a little messed up. We'll check him out with the other Casey Jones figures in a little bit. Strapped on to his long hair. He's got white shirt underneath. You can see the chest here sticking out. A little vest here. It does look like single jointed elbows and single jointed knees. Sweatpants. You can even see his socks down there. You can see his shirt, it's a little bit dirty. They did an excellent job with this Casey Jones figure. I was really happy when they initially made him, and now they've released him in 3 or 4 different ways. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Definitely eager to check him out with some other Casey Jones figures. I don't remember those scuff marks at the top. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with his hands. He has a total of 10 different hands, 5 left hands, and 5 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with a pretty small grip. And his third pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with a little bit of a larger grip. And his last pair of hands. His right hand is a pointing finger, and his left hand is sort of a pinching hand, probably to hold the mask. Here's his last set of hands, which I believe are some goalie hands. I believe these actually first came with the Universal Monster Ninja Turtle Casey Jones crossover figure. It's got some padding on the side. I don't think he ever used those type of gloves in the movie. And speaking of, here's his mask. We have a lone hockey mask. It has the same scuff marks. Must be accurate to the film. I don't particularly remember that, but straps up there. He can hold it from the straps. He can hang it on the wall behind him. You can kind of see the eyes. That's pretty cool. Now it is odd that he comes with this because he doesn't have an unmasked head, which I'm kind of surprised this set didn't come with. Here's Casey Jones holding that mask, which doesn't make a lot of sense because he's also wearing the mask at the same time. And then he has 2 baseball bats and a hockey stick. Jose Canseco bat? Don't tell me you paid good money for that. And the larger hockey stick. It's got tape wrapped around the bottom. Very nice sculpt. Of course, it doesn't say starter, it says starter. Here's Casey Jones holding those two bats. This figure just looks and feels like Casey Jones from the movie. They did a great job capturing his look and essence. And here's Casey holding that hockey stick. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. The previous versions of Casey Jones came with this awesome bag full of goodies. Baseball bats, golf clubs, hockey sticks, all kind of gear and accessories. It's a shame this one didn't come with it, but I've already got a couple of these. Now to check out the differences and similarities between the previous Casey Jones and this new one with the dirt bike. Now they released Casey Jones the first time in a 2-pack with Raphael Disguise, then the Ultimate version, and now the dirt bike version. And the main difference is going to be the scuff marks on the mask. This one's totally clean, this one is kind of beat up. Now beyond that, it looks exactly the same. Sure, I can see a little more detailing on the shirt, a little bit more dirty, etc. Although in the original one it looks like a little bit dirtier on the sleeves. It is 100% the same, besides simply the masks. And now to check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to around 18 centimeters. And for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side. He can look up, not much, down a little bit more. Can sort of tilt his head from side to side, but the hair kind of obstructs that. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. Now it is kind of interesting. It looks like the arms are done in flesh color. So you can see the joint there. I guess it's not that surprising because most of the arm is flesh, just a little bit is the white sleeve. Single jointed elbow with rotation. His wrist can rotate and is hinged. Torso is one solid piece. He's got a ball joint under his shirt. Rotate around, forward and back. Legs completely does the splits, ball joints. He can rotate independently the ball. Legs go forward about that much, back not at all. Single jointed knee, once again with rotation. And the ankle, forward and back. Tilt rock, looks like no traditional rotation. I guess you get that in the knee. Now to look at the dirt bike. And I searched online, I couldn't find any images of Casey Jones with the dirt bike from the actual film. I believe it's from a deleted scene. Maybe it was in the background of the park and just didn't really notice it or see it, but I couldn't find anything. Now this is John Connor's dirt bike from Terminator 2, sort of repurposed. You can see, I guess, I don't know if it's a logo sort of scratched out, but it's got two wheels, they both spin, rubbery type tires, can rotate. It's got all kind of little wires going in there, you can see the brakes, etc. See the gas there. Other side is pretty much same thing. It does have a kickstand, which helps support it, which is much appreciated. It's a good looking bike, kind of dinky. Now, this was originally a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive with John Connor, and I imagine there's a lot of people that don't have this that would be interested. So here is Casey Jones's bike on the left, next to the John Connor version on the right, and I will forewarn you the bike is kind of fragile. On the original one, the kickstand broke off as well as another piece, so just be careful. Now, as far as the differences go, here's John Connor's. The red is just, I don't know, a little lighter, but it is exactly the same thing. This piece is sort of dangling off on the original one, it's still secured here. And it really sucks, but on the original one, the actual kickstand broke off. You can see here where it should be. And that makes it so you can't really have the figure on here and have it look good without supporting it some other way. So just be careful with the dirt bike. Hopefully this one is a little bit better quality, but there are some small pieces that are kind of fragile. And then here's Casey Jones on the dirt bike. Now it seems maybe a little small for him. I mean, looking at it doesn't look that bad. I'm probably just kind of used to seeing John Connor on this bike. In the movie, Casey Jones had a pretty small operation, didn't really have a lot of money. Fought crime in his own little way, so I can see him being on a little dirt bike here. He fits okay. Handles actually work on the handlebars. Not bad. Here's a look at both Casey Jones and John Connor on their respective dirt bikes. They both fit okay. John Connor seems a better fit, but it's just because I'm more used to seeing. Here's a look at Casey Jones standing in front of his dirt bike in the streets of New York City. Here's Casey Jones and Raphael fighting each other in the park. And then, shortly after, here's Casey Jones and Raphael putting aside their differences, taking out this pack of foot soldiers. And here are all four of the turtles fighting the foot with Casey Jones. You can see Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo down there, and then Raphael and Casey Jones up top. Here's Casey in the city streets after he just took on a squad of foot soldiers. Now let's check him out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Casey Jones figures. Here's this Casey Jones with a dirt bike with a scuffed up mask. Next to the original Casey Jones, this is the one that came in the 2-pack with Raphael in disguise. Only a difference, this one has a clean mask. And here he is next to the ultimate Casey Jones. This one had the actor's likeness and came with the unmasked head. And here, next to the farmhouse Casey Jones, this one came in a 2-pack with April O'Neil. This is him in a wife beater and sweatpants. Then, next to the businessman Casey Jones from the animated series, this one came in a 2-pack with a foot soldier. And here he is, next to the Mirage Comics Casey Jones. And finally, next to the Universal Monsters crossover Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones as Phantom of the Opera figure. Here are all the different versions of Casey Jones that I have. They're all by NECA. One from the movie, one from an imaginary crossover with Universal Monsters, one for the cartoon, and one for the comic. Now there are some cartoon versions that I don't have. I didn't really feel the need to get. Rumor is they're going to be doing a Casey Jones as foot soldier in the near future. I'll definitely get at least one of those. Here's Casey Jones with the 4 turtles from the first film. Now Casey Jones was only in the first and third films, and I don't have any figures from the third film, and I don't feel like I probably ever will get any. Here's Casey Jones next to Raphael in disguise. This is the one that came with the original release of Casey Jones in a 2-pack. These guys fought like this in the city park. Here's Casey next to Splinter, Danny, and a couple versions of April O'Neil from the first film. Then, next to some of the villains from the first film, Shredder, Tatsu, and the foot soldiers. And finally, with the most recent release from the first film, this is Kevin Eastman, the guy who originally designed the Ninja Turtles. And just like Casey Jones' dirt bike, this guy was a trash man in a deleted scene for the Ninja Turtle film. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a NECA figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his NECA brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from NECA toys, all 7-inch scale, and now with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Casey Jones next to a piece of fried breaded chicken, and here he is with some DC Direct and McFarlane toys. Then with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a really nice Casey Jones figure. Of course, it's too much of the same. The only real difference is the mask is a little bit scuffed up, which may be more accurate to the movie, but it's not worth buying a whole nother Casey Jones for. He has fewer accessories, which surprises me. I think he should have come with the golf bag full of goodies, as well as the unmasked head. He comes with a dirt bike that he may or may not have ever used in the film. I believe it's from a deleted scene, but it could have been something NECA just made up altogether. And it's simply John Connor's dirt bike repurposed. So, a financially intelligent move on NECA's part. And there's probably some people that are going to buy the set just for the bike for John Connor, which is kind of a cool idea. I imagine that thing is quite valuable in the aftermarket. The figure does look awesome. It is a really, really good Casey Jones figure. My only problem with this pack is, this is, I think, the third almost identical version of Casey Jones they've made, and they've made a bunch of other versions that are not identical. His articulation, it's good, but a little bit limited in the elbows and the knees. Accessories, also a little bit limited. They could have easily included some of the accessories the previous Casey Jones figures came with to try to give you a little bit of a better value. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, top notch. If I were to rate this figure, honestly, the figure gets an easy 7.5, probably an 8 out of 10. The only thing they could do is maybe give him a little bit better articulation in the sort of biceps and elbow area. The dirt bike, not a huge fan. It's delicate, it's fragile. Casey Jones seems like he's maybe a little bit too big for it. Really nice Casey Jones figure, not a great Casey Jones and dirt bike set. Rate Casey Jones 7.5, the dirt bike, probably like a 5.5, maybe a 6. I'll bump it up to a 6. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.